This is Francois, and I'll be doing a playthrough of Leviathan the Old City, soundtrack by Atrium Carcere. I will be doing it by chapter, as well as I will read all the notes therein. For Solomon's notes that will be strewn across the game, I will record them separately and correlate them together as one large audio file. I'm sure a few of you out there will appreciate that. And with that, I think we should begin. You are about to inhabit a broken mind. Not everything you see or hear is trustworthy.
Hello again. I guess it's time for us to chat, as is our routine. Not to imply that this is unwanted. In fact, I think I'm growing rather fond of you. You and I have shared a grand nothingness, and I feel as though your belly is a suitable embassy amidst the unknown above.
I often wonder how many times I have woken up to greet you. Hundreds, if not thousands of days have gone by, surely. I can't believe you had not shown him to me. Solomon, my dear Solomon, yes. I have met him near the south side of this facility. We had a wonderful chat, and I don't want you to feel jealous. A friendship between us would never develop to eclipse my friendship with you, as he distanced himself from me after mentioning a woman named Belle. The poor fellow was unable to rid his mind of her. Some long-lost friend from an older time, I think. I'm glad I'll never lose you, Leviathan. Our relationship is a special one. He said something about moving north towards happiness and contentment. I get the sense that this was simple sarcasm, but that often gives way to actual desire. I do hope he finds what he's looking for. After all, he is making an effort to explore. That's more than I can say for the other Minotaurs down here. The one whose residence is near the dumping point for the clean water is bad enough. For the new one, this Moses character does nothing but whine about his precious dwellers and their unwillingness to move. Where's your movement, Moses? To be fair, he did leave the other day. He said he was meeting with the Order camp somewhere north. He's back. Not Solomon, no, the other one. Moses, just down the way. It's so hard to keep track of all the Minotaurs these days. But I'm sure you know them all. You're a perceptive one, aren't you? Anyway, he's back, and I feel compelled to go and meet him again. I'm quite the social butterfly, of you know. Granted, whenever I attempt dialogue, I usually get the same tired story about how insane I am, or some other nonsense. Moses doesn't like me. He had the nerve to say that you didn't exist. He said that I'm some idiot bumbling around, spewing my mind to you. Well, Moses, I'm not a fan of your work either. The fool. He's made the switch. At least that's what they say. I made the switch once and my mind has never fully recovered. I embraced void, but I resurfaced quickly enough to survive. Why have you done this, Moses? Why have you dived into uselessness. After I switched to the unclean water, I began to see the world for what it could be. The vasts of nothingness. I can only rely on you to unveil reality again, Leviathan. You must show me what they have done, and what this place is, lest I implode into my own abyss. He's gone. No longer will he exist as a parasite in your belly. He has made his escape, his journey to Tarshish, and I cannot help but feel as though he is brave in doing so. On the other hand, here I sit, alone, with nothing to show for myself. I have become static. I sit here consuming the supplies in the old city, never even considering what the source might hold. Shall I continue to rot? Perhaps I should drink the unclean water again. After all, if I'm useless, there's no reason not to dissolve. No, I will continue. I will cling to sanity like a man lost in his hope. I will cling to your innards like the parasitic worm I am. It has been long enough. I have wasted away being useless for enough time to see that there must be a change. Tomorrow, Leviathan, tomorrow, I will make my journey. I will reach the surface, and I will find the old city. I will find the source.
Do you want me here? I know the question must seem odd, if not insulting, but I really must ask. You seem distant as of late. Admittedly, and please do not take offense, your innards sometimes frighten me. Even in the complete safety of a belly and to myself, there are places like this that I do not want to know. Would you be angry with me if I removed his work? I'm not exactly a fan. Before I assumed this portion of your stomach, he existed as a parasite, eating away at your flesh before making his escape. I'm told that he refused to accept the sustenance you haul in from the outside, Some say he went insane after attempting to live off of the unclean water. Poor fool.
This endeavor is new to me, but I suppose no other of my kind has written a journal of their discoveries. At least none that I have read. Why is that, I wonder? Why do the others, though spread thin in this hellhole, prefer talking to themselves, aimlessly and without end? They wander in the dark, spewing their minds as if the walls themselves were engaging them. No matter, the walls will not hear my thoughts. No, my thoughts are for you, reader, whoever you are. I met with the Order camp near the down subway car today. It's always interesting how they, and others down there, have taken to living in our collective filth. Though I suppose this grass is always greener, only when you cannot see the other side. If I can plan some sort of coordinated effort to get to the surface, I think we can travel much faster. What we need is a rigid system of cooperation. Back when I was dubbed Minotaur by the Council of Modernity, I assumed that the title had granted me at least a modicum of authority over logistical affairs. This does not appear to be the case with the Order camp, however, as they rejected me outright. I think the title seems to distance them from me. Sometimes I feel as though the Council is no better than the rabble of Freemans that they combated. The Freemans themselves have almost entirely been eliminated, but our current populace is as stubborn and unwilling to challenge their current status. Today I decided to use a different tactic than I'd used before. Instead of pulling rank, I opted to use reason. As common dwellers, we're all aware that our supply of water and food is largely provided by the Old City. It is clear that this entire supply is simply the leftovers of a much larger meal, a hand-me-down from some other entity in a much better financial situation. While this free substance is appreciated, wouldn't you rather find the source? Apparently, I alone have that sentiment. I will try. It has been a week since my last entry. I've tried everything. These people are intolerable. I've tried every measure of reason to no avail. They'd rather drink the old city's charity water than to find its fountain. I don't know how much longer I can take this. Every time I give a reason to escape this underground purgatory, it becomes more evident to myself how badly I personally need to get out. And every time they refuse. It's become more obvious how hopeless this situation really is.
I wonder if the dwellers would cluster together like rats if they really understood the true value of isolation. All of their pathetic little wars and ridiculous assumptions of superiority would be washed away if they all had their own private labyrinths to roam around in. Granted, they could never understand the importance of the individual, the megalomania of justice in the guild, order, and, yes, even the unknowing. It's far too strong. There really is no point in even attempting dialogue. As a child, before the lots were cast, my parents moved around a great deal. State of motion was not constant, of course, but it was frequent. Honestly, I loved the newness of it. I loved feeling like a sculpture, clay added over and over, but with an artist always ready to carve from my form that which I did not require, continually reshaping my psychology. Bags in front of me during the unfortunately early hours before departure. They seem to decrease in number with each successive voyage.
It's funny, isn't it? Months into travel, and at the end of it, I am left with absolutely nothing. They told me that I should seek out the water treatment facility on this northwestern portion of the island. They told me if I found it, I would be met with a conglomerate endeavor to reach the inland. I was told that the Order and the other enemies of the Guild would not interfere with our attempts at progress. No one ever told me that the conglomerate endeavor in question was simply the continuation of the same pointless struggle against nothingness. I suppose this is my punishment for assuming movement has any worth. Miles and miles I've ventured, all this time spent, all this pain endured, and here I sit with nothing to show for it but a dirty old mattress and a stagnant mind. That's the best part of it all, really. The best part is that I haven't changed. I am the same idiot stumbling around in a fallen world that I was years past. Luckily, now that death is finding me like an old lover, rejected yet loyal, it doesn't matter that the dwellers don't seem to be concerned with the inland. Then again, why would they be concerned? Why would they want to find meaning, a meaning that the old city must provide, if they already have their own? What need would there be for change? I'm so idiotic, aren't I? I should have seen it. No matter. It's about to be over, thankfully, and this pathetic waste of a life won't be here to trouble anyone anymore. Onward with your endeavors, then, dwellers. I'm sure you'll make headway with your enemies someday. Surely it won't result in the continuation of your infinite conflict that will never be resolved. Surely. By the greater I, what a fucking joke it all is. I met with a local minotaur named Jonah. He's a friendly reminder of sanity's fragility. Drank from the unclean water, no doubt. In speech, he seems normal, until a point. And that point is his dive into the bizarre. I would call it pretentious if it wasn't so obviously born of pure insanity. I guess I can't complain, as it's far better than the nonsense I hear from the guild. At least Jonah doesn't make weightless promises of island venture. No, he's firmly planted in his place, as if stuck in a loop. He keeps returning to vague memories of his childhood as if they could protect him. In the middle of a thought, he'll bring it back from the void, just to make everything seem safe. My father showed me. In the heavens this flies, his wings like the clouds he targets the skies. Still Behemoth is roaming in his desert unknown, but dunes reaching forward, where no seed is sown. Under these beasts, 'neath the depths of abyss, Leviathan's creeping, shows prints of Dis. Abba guided me onward, but the strength of his hands I let slip 'tween my fingers my grasp of sand. He wondered, curious, do you know where you are? Indeed, I did not. All I could see was the blue. I told him plainly, it doesn't matter, I'm right here with you.
I shouldn't be here. Please. I cannot swim this deep. Let me out. Please. shall I ascend to your lungs and feel your breath? I think that would be lovely.